Don't feed Olaf. Olaf is a fast, high-damage melee champion who deals physical and true damage. Olaf's passive is Berserker Rage. This ability causes him to attack 1% faster for every 1% of his health he is missing. Because of this, he becomes much more damaging at low health. Olaf's Undertow causes him to throw an axe to a target location, damaging and slowing all enemies hit. Additionally, Olaf can pick the axe up by running over it, reducing the cooldown by 6 seconds. While Undertow makes Olaf an excellent chaser, it is a skill shot, and it is one of the hardest skill shots to use effectively because it only applies a 2.5 second slow but has a 10-second cooldown. To be most effective, an Olaf player needs to not only pick up the axe after each throw to reduce the cooldown by 6 seconds, but also needs to land each axe throw on the target to keep them from escaping. If Olaf can continually strike you with Undertow and can pick up his axe, you will be continually slowed. If you are being chased by an Olaf and have some distance on him, change directions when he has thrown an axe at you. If you can make a serious course change, do so. The goal is to make it harder for him to pick up his axe and continue pursuing you. Additionally, if you have a gap closer and have a serious chance at killing Olaf without his Undertow, wait until he has thrown it towards you and immediately jump to him and keep the fight on him, preventing him from picking up the axe. Olaf has a predictable path he needs to follow when ganking if he is relying on Undertow. Because he needs to pick up the axe, he must throw it in a direction he will be running while pursuing you. In other words, he is a true chaser, not a flanker, and will often benefit most from coming at you directly, rather than from behind. This certainly doesn't mean he won't come from behind if it's a relatively assured kill or he is flanking into a lane where his teammates have hard crowd controls. If you flash away from Olaf, immediately juke or he may land yet another Undertow on you. In melee range, Undertow is brutally effective since Olaf can target it directly in front of him, deal damage to all targets in front of him, and instantly pick up the axe without moving. With cooldown reduction, Undertow has effectively no cooldown, often deals more damage than auto attacks, and hits all targets. Because of the melee range strength of the ability, Undertow is part of what makes Olaf a very effective jungler. It also makes him a very effective ganker. Olaf's Vicious Strikes temporarily grants him a flat amount of attack damage, plus additional attack damage equal to 1% of his maximum health. Additionally, he receives between 9 and 21% lifesteal and spell vamp. This ability can dramatically increase his attack damage depending on how he is building. Combined with other sources of lifesteal in his passive that causes him to attack faster while at low health, Vicious Strikes can often mean the difference between life and death and can completely turn around fights that look like they are lost causes. Because Olaf's Undertow is based on attack damage, using Vicious Strikes also increases the damage of Undertow. Vicious Strikes can be effective for pushing towers due to the additional damage. Olaf's Reckless Swing causes Olaf to deal a substantial amount of true damage to a target at the cost of some of his own health. Since true damage ignores all armor and magic resist, this ability is excellent against any champion stacking those stats. However, it is a substantial amount of damage on its own and can be used effectively on any target who happens to be in melee range of Olaf. Olaf generally should not use Reckless Swing at low health, for the obvious reason that he can wind up helping to kill himself. However, in a 1v1 battle, Reckless Strike is safe to use if Olaf is sure it will kill his opponent, as it cannot be used if he does not have the health to spend. Where Undertow is very effective for farming in the jungle, Reckless Swing is excellent at last hitting minions in the laning phase, provided Olaf has some basic health regeneration. It is also excellent harassment due to the relative low health pools of most champions in the early game. Olaf's ultimate is Ragnarok, which grants him between 5 and 8 seconds of immunity to all disables except silences and blinds, and reduces incoming damage by up to 40. Additionally, this ability passively increases his armor penetration by between 10 and 30 points. Ragnarok has a variety of uses depending on what Olaf's role is on the team. First, it makes him an excellent initiator since he can run into a group, take quite a bit of damage, and get the group focused on him so the rest of the team can jump in. Second, it allows him to knock out specific players in team fights. Since Olaf can effectively get to any target he needs without fear of crowd control, he is often very effective by focusing on the single most dangerous opponent, such as a ranged AD carry hanging behind their team. Even if he fails to kill his target, it will most likely be because they fled the fight, still giving Olaf's team an advantage. It's worth noting that Olaf can effectively counter many seriously fed opponents by doing this. As long as he can survive to reach, harass, and ideally kill a strong opponent, he can turn a game around, even if he dies in the process. Third, it's fantastic for soloing opponents who may use stuns or other crowd controls to turn the battle in their favor. Used at the right time, Ragnarok can guarantee a kill. Fourth, it's a great escape mechanism, especially combined with a speed enhancer such as Ghost or Yuma's Ghostblade. If Olaf is surrounded and likely to be CC'd, he can use Ragnarok to get out of most situations. Ragnarok is best saved for when it's needed. This can be immediately on initiating a fight, but often it will be after a fight has already begun or even when Olaf needs to fall back. Ragnarok's damage reduction and crowd control immunity combined with vicious strikes and berserker rage make Olaf extremely deadly and survivable at low health. If you're going to kill Olaf, your team must absolutely commit to killing him, not leaving him at low health, or he can completely turn a fight around. Ragnarok cannot be activated while he is disabled. Because of this, committing to kill him may involve chaining crowd controls on him. Unlike a handful of other melee champions, Olaf does not rely on his ultimate to be effective. He can be effective throughout the game if he is good with his Undertow. That said, if Olaf is locked out early, he will have a difficult time recovering and may only be effective for the brief periods where his ultimate is available. Olaf can build a variety of ways depending on the game he's in. Watch for Olaf players who build health items such as Phage and Frozen Mallet sooner, as their damage will be lower until they can acquire Atma's Impaler. Additionally, an Olaf who builds primarily damage items such as Yuma's Ghostblade can be brutally effective in the early game, but they have a window where they're also very vulnerable to being bursted down. Take advantage of this. Like many junglers, Olaf is ready to gank just a few short minutes into the game, after a pass of only a few minion camps. Do not overextend if you don't have wards. Thanks for watching this Don't Feed. If you want to be alerted to every video I release, subscribe to my channel.